Hey everyone, today we are going to do something a little bit different here. Although this is the Yunnan Sourcing YouTube channel, as you may or may not know, I also have a website called tieguanoolongs.com, which we refer to as Taiwan Sourcing. And we have some incredibly fantastic teas on there. I work with a local Taiwanese guy, Simon, who we source all the teas together, and we've just got some great teas. I wanted to drink with y'all a winter 2017 tea called Diaoqiaotou, which is the area. It's an area near Lishan at an elevation of 2,400 meters. It's the Diaoqiaotou, and it's the Tieguanyin varietal. It's called Diaoqiaotou tieguanyin Guardian King Roasted Oolong. And so it's a kind of a light, medium roast, high altitude tieguanyin varietal, which is quite relatively rare in Taiwan. Tieguanyin is perhaps most well known for the Muja tieguanyin, which is more roasted than this tea. This tea is less roasted, and I think that's good because of its high mountain origins, and it has a lot of character because of that. And if it was too heavily roasted, it would lose that. So this is, I think, a perfect balance. But anyways, we're going to get started. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and read to you the description that we have for this tea. Just you could soak it in as we. So we did produce tea from the same area in 2015, the Lishan tieguanyin, as we called it. The legendary tea of 2015 is finally again part of our 2017 winter offering, and we are very surprised to find that the processing has become very different from the previous version. Most of the High Mountain Oolongs grown at Lishan, Dayuling and Fushoushan are Qing Xin Oolong varietal, but this tea was made from Hongxin varietal tieguanyin, the varietal that is most utilized to process as traditional tieguanyin. Moreover, tieguanyin varietal grown at such high altitudes is very rare, since harvest quantity is very low compared to the Qing Xin varietal. So again, it's very lower yield, so that's why it's less popular. The result is remarkable in that it offers an absolutely unique and eye-opening experience for Jade Oolong tea lovers. It has a mellow yet complex layered body that separates it from a Qing Xin Lishan Jade Oolong. This roasted version is incredibly rich and full-bodied due to the gentle multi-stage roasting the tea has undergone. We have given it the name Guardian King, as this tea is like a strong guardian forged from the goddess drop, which was our 2015 Lishan tieguanyin that I referenced there, by an elegant roasting technique. With the best environment and most interesting varietal possible, this is one of the most exclusive teas in the market offered by Taiwan Sourcing. We're very grateful to have this tea with us in the winter of 2017. And we sincerely invite anyone who would like to explore the new world of tea to join us. This is something that Simon and I wrote together. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. Got the water boiled here. We've got Lucy. She is patiently waiting. I would try to sell everybody on the idea that she likes tea, but in fact, she does not like tea. And I can't even imagine a Doberman that was all caffeined up. That would not be a good scene. So what's up, Lucy? How are you feeling today? Lucy unfortunately had to take steroids, some prednisone, and not a real serious problem. We're not sure if it was allergies or whether it was she got in a fight with a feral cat. And she has to take prednisone, and unfortunately that makes her really, really hungry, more hungry than she's normally, which is very, very hungry. So she is very, very hungry. So hopefully she won't kick anything on the tea table here today. I think there's actually a good chance. I removed most of the breakable things. Give it a little wash here. I'm actually going to drink. And the aroma the aroma too is this nice kind of toasted, just like, you know, roasted corn meets sweet potatoes meets like a fruit and flour kind of smell. Let's go ahead and do this. These are still not open yet. And again, this tea, we may pop some pictures up there to show you the dry leaf of this tea. But it's you know, it's a tight roll, as is typical. It's still got a lot of greenness in it. It's definitely not a heavily roasted tea. And like any traditionally processed High Mountain Oolong, it has the stem. So I know there's been some confusion in the tea community about stems, and a lot of people think, oh, stems are bad and tea that has stems is cheap and all this kind of stuff. And in fact, the stem is very central to the processing of many teas, including Tie Guan Oolongs, pu'er as well. But the stem provides a lot of the nutrients that the tea needs during the processing, actually. And it moves, you know, a lot of the stuff moves from the stem into the leaf and vice versa. And it creates a really balanced tea. So, you know, again, it's interesting because this is a Taiwanese tieguanyin, and tieguanyin, most tieguanyin now in China that's processed like a hyper jade tieguanyin, those have the stems picked off, and they're usually done by hand, actually. And that's fine. It changes the tea. It makes it a very different tea. What they're going for is that extremely kind of high level of greenness, and the stem tends to kind of bring that, tends to make it a little more sweet, and that kind of real sharp kind of hyper, I don't know, it's hard to describe. The Tie Guan Yin flavor is slightly, you know, is slightly lessened by the stem. But in this tea, the stem's here, and this is just the style of the tea. So, you know, just for people that are curious about how the stems impact that. Now, Lucy, you're so patient. Good girl. So let's give this a drink. So much going on here. It's kind of hard for me to separate it all out. It's just the complexity, the body. It's got a really nice, long-lasting taste, you know, aftertaste. There's definitely like fruit, flour. It's sweet. There's a little bit of, like I said, kind of like a roasted graininess to it. This tea, I think, will be really fascinating too. The roast is definitely not, you know, like some teas that have been roasted and have been roasted recently have a very like strong roasted taste. This one doesn't. It will be interesting though to see how that roasted taste, you know, over time gets a little bit less pronounced. Although right now it's not particularly pronounced. I think Lissy's tired. She's having a hard time staying awake. Lissy? You okay? All right, let's do it. Look at her nose. You hear those dogs barking out there? Oh, just forget about it. Don't you want to stay here with us and drink tea? It's very quiet here. Mostly the sounds that we hear are the sounds of animals. Birds, squirrels, some dogs. I'm trying to relate this to tieguanyin, like an anxi tieguanyin, but I'm having a really hard time relating it. It just doesn't have that. I mean, the processing is different. Only really the varietal is the same. Everything else is really quite different about it, which I think is interesting because you associate, Tie Guan Yin with something. I mean, I admittedly, my early experiences of Tie Guan Yin were all Anxi, mainland Fujian Tie Guan Yin, very green. Some of it very, very good, but this tea doesn't have that character to me, not at all. It's completely unique to Taiwan. And it's fascinating, I think, when this hits the mouth, there's just this multi-stage kind of experience going on, and it's really just layered. It hits, it's sweet, there's a little floral, and then it kind of moves into more like spicy, fruity graininess, but very lubricating, very soft, very filling in the mouth. This is definitely a tea that also, in my experience, I've drank it quite a bit on an empty stomach, and I find that it's usually really easy on my stomach. But I do notice the chachi. It's not super strong, but it's definitely there. It's a very enjoyable, elegant tea. It does, I think, require quite a bit of heat to get it going. So we waited a little bit too long for between boiling and starting the video. So I'm going to reboil it here. Lucy, do you want to tell them about our new Iwu rooster cake? This is all spring harvested tea from Iwu that was wet piled. So this is a ripe tea. We just finally got this pressed. It's actually a 2017 tea, and it's lovely. We're gonna do another video. We're gonna do a video just about this tea next. 250 grams, real thick, nice fat cake. A lovely, lovely ripe tea. What do you think, Lizzie? She said if that was a real rooster, it would be in my mouth. So let's get going here. I'm using 7.3 grams. I don't know if you can see, but the tea is actually peeking out of the top of the teapot here. So this is a tea that can expand a lot. I always like to, when I'm drinking, especially Taiwanese oolongs or any kind of rolled teas, I really like to weigh them because they can be really, they can confuse you. You put it in the pot and you think you're putting in 7 grams, but you just put in 11 grams or something like that. So, but Taiwan sourcing has been, I think we're in our, we started in 2015, so 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, we're in our 4th year now, and I think it's been going really well. We haven't grown massively, I think partially because the market for Taiwanese oolongs is relatively saturated, and but I really believe in what we're doing, and I really think, especially Simon as well as made great relationships with all kinds of growers throughout Taiwan, and really we're just focusing on high quality. I mean, there's so much mass-produced tea in Taiwan. There's so much tea that's sold as Taiwanese oolongs that aren't Taiwanese oolongs, and being connected with somebody in Taiwan, and with Simon and with several other people in Taiwan that he works with, growers and visiting growers over there, we can verify that all of our teas are not only what they say they are, but high quality as well. And we're going to be offering more and more organic teas from small tea gardens over time. So that's been really exciting. We offered a Wu Yi varietal charcoal roasted organic oolong from winter that just was very, very affordable, very good, but just sold out super fast. So in the spring, we're going to definitely get a larger quantity of that. What do you think, Lucy? Is it meat time? What time is it? It's meat time. Sorry, bad joke. Oh yeah, really stable output. This infusion was actually like stronger than the last one. The leaves have opened up real gradually. I'm somebody who also likes to steep. I'm not a real, there's a lot of people out there who do these like super flash steeps in like 5 seconds and 10 seconds and just, like I really like to do, most teas, I'm done at about 8 to 10 steeps. I like to push it. I don't like to, just do flash steep, flash steep, flash steep, flash steep. I don't have time. I prefer to kind of like, it's definitely gong fu. I mean, most people in China that brew gong fu style and in Taiwan, they don't just, do like flash steep, flash steep, flash steep, super short times. Usually it's, 20 seconds or maybe like a wash, like 10, 15 seconds, then maybe like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like that, and then done, and then you're done. I like to really kind of push it and compress it a little bit, mostly because I like to drink a lot of tea. I like to drink, a few sessions a day, and I can't just be sitting there, trying to steep the tea 20 or 30 times or whatever. And it's not really like how the tea tastes good to me either. I like it pretty strong, so. This has a nice like fruitiness that just hangs out in the mouth too. It's real sweet and fruity. It's got a really, real soft but full-bodied tea. I play this little game with Lucy. So I don't have anything. I had to teach her from when she was a puppy how not to bite too hard. So. This is good. This is really, really good. And it really makes a huge difference when you take a high mountain tea versus a medium or lower altitude elevation tea and roast it like this. Anytime that you have a tea like this, I think roasting it much more than how the degree of roasting that this one has undergone would, I think, be a waste. I think this is just like there's ones that we've also offered to some light roast gaofeng that we offer that's really nice. That's not a super high altitude one, but it's fairly high. That one is really excellent too. And slightly less roasted than this one, but if you roast, I think roasting too much for a tea like this wouldn't you'd lose a lot of the subtlety that the High Mountain, they call it the Yun, has. What do you think, Lucy? You want this? Can you shake? Can you shake for it? Shake? 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 She's like, I can't shake when I'm lying down like this. Okay. I wonder if our videos are just going to get more and more bizarre over time. I'll be locked in a room and there'll be like plastic bubble sheeting everywhere, and the cameraman will have to wear a mask, and I'll get like super weird and eccentric, and I'll just drink tea and nobody will tell me that I've gone over the edge. Everybody will be too nice to tell me. Please don't do that. Don't be too nice. I can take a little criticism. but not too much. Mm. Nice. There's kind of a little bit of a crispness to this too, on the front, on the tip of the tongue. This is good. But yeah, I don't want to, you know, I'm not the best at describing teas. I feel like the teas make a really strong impression on me when I drink them, but they don't. It's hard for me to say. You know, this has, you know, stone fruit and, you know, hints of, you know, hay that was, you know, harvested in the southern part of France and in June or something, with, you know, the smell of, you know, Arabian horse hair or something like that. You know, I've read descriptions by people that, and that's great, but I don't have, maybe I'm just not imaginative enough. Maybe I don't really need to be in that sense. I think it's more like, oh, this is good. Oh, wow. Like, I want this. You know, I want this. I want to offer this. So that's kind of, you know, if you're watching the videos and you've been watching the videos, you know this about me. So that's why I try to throw in some other information in here. Let's get this in. And then I'm going to push this last one. I think I'm going to do for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. It's definitely lost a bit. It's getting a little more, well, actually that actually looks, has that kind of real bright, almost tieguanyin color to it, although it's not as green as an Anxi tieguanyin or our 2015 Goddess Drop Lishan tieguanyin. But yeah, I really encourage people, if you're a fan of tea, if you're a fan of oolong, if you're a fan of black tea, go to tieguanoolongs.com, check it out. If we also do offer some of these teas on yunnansourcing.us, so you can find some there if they're in the US. If you're in the US and you want to combine an order with some of our Yunnan sourcing teas, you could do that. I think that I would like to be your Taiwan tea supplier. You know, I understand that we don't offer every type of Taiwan tea, but I think the ones that we offer are really excellent. And hats off to Simon in Taiwan, my Taiwan sourcing partner, who is an amazing guy. He is a Taiwanese native, and his whole life is tea and teapots. So thank you to Simon, and thanks for watching.